Oh yeah, we doubling back on the casual chit chat, man. But it's your boy DHP, and y'all know the rest, man. But I know I'm late with this topic, but I just seen the whole episode with DC going to Club Shay Shay, and so he said some stuff on there that I've been saying for like, not that I agree with him, but we had conversations and topics about this like for like the past 2 years. So he brought up, you know, a little Mount Rushmore topic debate. Club Shay Shay asked him about his Mount Rushmore in DC, and I've been saying about this for like the past like 2 years, year and a half. And this is the topic of the video today. So we all know the history with steroids in the UFC. As a matter of fact, go back to the Joe Rogan. I did a reaction to Joe Rogan's podcast with Taporia, and they was talking about steroid use and all this other stuff. And this nigga Joe Rogan talking about UFC need to go back to everybody using steroids. And I'm like, yes and no, but anyways, DC said that if you a cheater, you cannot be in his Mount Rushmore, right? So if you take steroids, if you got popped for anything, you cannot be in the Mount Rushmore. And it's crazy because shout out to Jackson Podcast and boys over there at Jackson. They did like a list of like all the division GOATs, like all the weight class GOATs, like Stipe heavyweight. So they got TJ Dillashaw as bantamweight GOAT. That's a different topic for a different day, but it goes back to what I'm trying to bring together is everybody is on this, you know, you on my list, you not on my list, if you took steroids or not. A lot of people still got TJ Dillashaw as the bantamweight GOAT, right? Even though I disagree. So I feel like Dom is the bantamweight GOAT, but everybody and their mama got TJ as the bantamweight GOAT, but yet he got popped, right? But niggas exclude that. But then when it comes to John Jones or Anderson Silva, the niggas always put that like, no, he can't be on the list because he took steroids. And my whole thing with DC, and it's not just for DC, it's just a general topic debate. As a whole, as a community, we gotta come to a medium ground, because there was a whole era. I've been watching the UFC since like what, 07? Like 007. My first fight was Chuck Liddell, 2 Ortiz. That was in 2006, but I didn't get to see that I didn't get to see that until it came on YouTube like 07-ish. So, but me being a watcher in 07 and just took off from there, and then I started playing the video games. It was UFC Undisputed 09. That was my first UFC video game. I still went back and watched the whole sport from the first UFC on to now, right? There was a whole era of the UFC where everybody, all these niggas was taking some, bro. The Brazilians, you know, they was on TRT. Everybody, it's funny because Nate Diaz, he made a joke, but he was serious. But everybody's on steroids. There was a time in the UFC where everybody was on something. So where do we, you know, and I understand, like, from DC's point of view, like, him as the fighting athlete that he is, it's unfortunate that he had to go against some niggas that took something to gain an advantage. Technically, DC, I mean, you didn't take steroids, but you definitely cheated yourself. If you want to be like 100, because that whole towel incident, like, come on, bro. Like, if it wasn't for that whole towel incident, you would have missed weight. Like, let's be honest. You would have missed weight. But that's a whole different situation in its own. But I don't understand. I guess I do understand, but at the same time, it's like, if y'all want to say something about John Jones, or people keep talking about John Jones as a cheater, he did this, he did that, you might want to discredit a whole bunch of niggas that y'all probably got inside like the top 10 list. because that whole era was pretty much cheating for real. Like, I don't even think niggas really know this, because he was a average fighter, but he wasn't nothing to like have high praise about. But y'all remember Kung Lee? Y'all remember when he got popped for actual steroids, and then Michael Bisping ended up beating the hell out of him still? I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even forgot all about that incident. You know, so DC, yeah, he ended up saying John Jones and Anderson Silva is excluded out of his Mount Rushmore because they cheated, they took steroids. But in that same breath, right? So he got Khabib, he got GSP, he got Chuck Liddell, which, you know, Chuck Liddell, everybody know personally, and you know, in my group, everybody know Chuck Liddell is my favorite of all time. It's Liddell, GSP, and BJ Penn. Now, GSP didn't take steroids, but it was accusations that he was greasing in the fight. So, you know, I mean, it's low key. It's kind of like apples to oranges. But you see how, you know, niggas cheat like almost all the time to gain an advantage. But that's irrelevant to what I'm trying to say. The point I was getting to was, so he's saying John Jones, Anderson Silva, Hazy, come on, cut it out. So he was saying John and Anderson is out the equation, right? Because they took steroids. Well, your brother, not your blood brother, but like your teammate brother, your a guy that you created brotherhood with, his cousin Islam Makhachev got popped for steroids too. So it's a fine. And I had this discussion like a couple of days ago with one of my personal friends about this, you know, whether or not steroids use in UFC, should we discredit their whole career, or, you know, because a lot of our favorites done took some. It doesn't matter when you get caught. You know, Islam Makhachev, he got popped. Sugar Sean, everybody loves Sugar Sean O'Malley. He got popped for steroids. Going back to TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw got popped for, what was it, EPO? It was during that time. Now, granted, I gave him a little pass on that because I knew what he took it for. Because him going down to flyweight, TJ, I ain't gonna lie to you, if TJ didn't take what he took, TJ was gonna miss weight at flyweight tremendously. My personal opinion, because him at flyweight was just awful. Like, I already knew he wasn't going to be able, because he was too... TJ is too big of a person to make flyweight. Which is why I don't understand how Davison Figueiredo be doing that shit, but... TJ Dillashaw, this nigga was too big to do flyweight. So I already knew he had to take some just to even make that weight. And then you saw the after effects. TJ, he was not the same TJ Dillashaw. I would like to see, in retrospect, in hindsight, I would like to see Triple C knowing what he did at bantamweight. I would like to see that fight, him going up to bantamweight and facing TJ Dillashaw instead of TJ going down. Because TJ going down to flyweight, that was a huge mismatch for TJ, bruh. He could not... Hazy, get your ass back up here. Yeah, that was a huge mismatch. TJ was not TJ Dillashaw at flyweight. But I just want to bring this situation, another casual chit chat. We gotta bring this situation to the front forward, or however you want to say that phrase, because we can't say, oh, but John Jones cheated, Anderson Silva cheated, so they can't be on the GOAT list, but yet y'all let some of the other shit pass. I'm pretty sure I'm already knowing that some niggas, just because it's Islam Makhachev, they're gonna let Islam slide by. And I'm already knowing. We cannot say that John Jones, Anderson Silva, they're excluded from the top 5 list of the Mount Rushmore list because they cheated, and yet y'all let somebody else usher on in, even though they cheated. Like, even now, a lot of people's calling Islam. I wouldn't say a lot of people, because people still got Khabib as the lightweight GOAT. But half of this new fan base got Islam as lightweight's GOAT. So we already, giving him a pass. You know what I mean? So I just want to bring this topic to the front line, front and center, because I've seen the comments, I've seen what DC had to say, I've seen other, content creators speak about this. It seems like everybody pick and chooses who they want to condemn and who they want to let slide by. And my personal opinion, if y'all say this for John Jones, and I'm using John Jones as the majority example because that's what everybody's going off of, then you gotta do that for everybody else. Even Chris Cyborg. Everybody know that I love Chris Cyborg. Chris Cyborg is one of my favorite women's fighters, but she popped. So what do we do from there, I do feel like it depends on who you hate. Obviously, the obvious reason for all this is who you hate and who you like, So, but, hey, man, this wasn't really the video I was talking about in my last video. I got another video planned for y'all, but I just had this thought in my mind. I'm like, you know what? I talked about this, like, late last year. Not late last year, like early last year when I first started recording myself. So I'm going to bring it again, this time to YouTube, because DC once again brought that topic back up in a recent interview with Club Shay Shay. But, until my next video, because I still got something planned for y'all, I'm going to holler at y'all niggas later, man.